sinister. Grifters with a snake oil grin. Voracious, virtue signalers cashing in. False PIs, they're fixing the game. Pointing fingers, but they're all the same. Innocent creators, moms with a cause. Digging through the chaos, exposing the flaws. We're hunting for clues, untwisting the lies. Who's driving this shit show straight to demise? Convertibles roaring, cliffs in sight. Like Thelma and Louise on a forever ride. They sail into YouTube fame, the crash is in sight. We're all on the ride, no brakes, no trust. Popularity is the spark that'll burn their channels in the dust. Or it'll burn their channels in the dust. Dust.
Okay, this is going to be very fast. If I can quiet this music, that'll help a lot. All right, there we go. So it's going to be kind of fast. Well, actually, it's going to be super fast. So sorry about the lighting and all the problems that I deal with trying to go live, because I do have someplace I have to be in a few minutes, little while. Donna Adelson. Now, look, there are many of you that have zero interest in the prosecution of the Adelson clan. I get it. You all, okay, so for our channel, people are incredibly interested in the fact that Sebastian Rogers is missing. So if you do a Sebastian Rogers or Christopher Proudfoot video, you do get a lot of interest in the video. But, and Karen Reed, you know, it's the same. But when it comes to the Adelson case, you know, people are just not into it. And I can't figure that out. I can't figure out what is it, you know, maybe it's just because it doesn't involve children, which is a little disconcerting. Yeah. But I get that we all kind of have our interests, you know, various interests. But it does seem like that the court cases that involve kids, that gets a lot of attention. But I guess, you know, my thing is that there's really great stories out there. There's really interesting. Good morning, Junes. How are you? Hi, Maria. Welcome. There's some really great cases out there that don't involve kids, but are crazy. And the Adelson clan, that's one of them. Okay. The Adelson clan is just filled with personality disorders and wealthy people and poor drug dealers and gang members. I mean, it's got it all. And so I don't know what to do to try to get some interest in the Adelson story. Now, there is a large following. These are people that have been following this case for we're now at 10 years since Dan Markel was killed. But for 10 years, they've been following this case. Many of them are from Florida, or they have connections to Florida. But it just hasn't caught on in the general kind of true crime community. And, you know, I don't know why that is. It's a crazy case. Like, it is crazy. So, like recent developments, you have a family that has been followed, investigated, wiretapped, recorded. They get law enforcement undercover bumps for 10 years. You've got their rich, wealthy, fancy son going to prison for life. You've got the son-in-law murdered. And then the woman who's married to him, your daughter, runs off to Texas with a billionaire. And now she's hiding out in a gated mansion up around Dallas. And, even if they wanted to arrest them, it's going to take the SWAT team. So, Wendy, I just want to warn you, sister. The Texas Rangers, Texas SWAT, they ain't playing. They won't care how cute you are. They won't care how pretty your blue eyes are. They really won't care how much money that you and your boyfriend have. If they get the word to go arrest you, they won't go home until it's done. I look up Waco, okay, the David Koresh compound. So the newest, so they were supposed to go to trial June. They were going to start picking the jury June 3rd through the 6th. And then they were supposed to have opening statements on June the 9th. And this has been, there's so much history here. It really should have been prosecuted last year. And the attorneys that she had, well, she's kind of like Sarah Boone. Like, she can't keep an attorney. It's always trouble. And one of those attorneys was actually removed by Circuit Court Judge Stephen Everett for conflict of interest kind of problems. And the conflict of interest involves her formerly rich, formerly fancy son, dental surgeon, who is now simply an inmate for life. He actually is now in a position that he could actually testify against his mom and his sister. It's a mess, like a mess. So they were supposed to have a hearing. Well, they did have a hearing on April the 30th, a couple of days ago, and they were actually preparing for trial. And the defense came up and said, we can't go to trial. And Judge Everett is like, well, why can't we go to trial? And there's discovery violations. And there has been 100,000 emails that didn't get turned over to the defense. So that was a huge oopsie. And it's one of those little tricks where they have to try to find a compatible computer program to even open or read these 100,000 emails. And drum roll, 34 hours of recorded wiretap after Donna was arrested. They don't need a warrant. They don't need the wiretap to listen to him on her phone calls. She's in jail. They can listen to anything they want to listen where Donna is concerned. Who are they wiretapping? No one knows. No one knows. It all just came out on April the 30th. And there's a discrepancy. This is interesting. There's discrepancy between when the wiretaps ended. The prosecution says that it ended on the 21st. The documents say that it ended on the 24th. So there's 3 days there that I think are instrumental. The prosecutor said, no, it was actually on the 21st. We know it for sure. The defense is sitting over there going like that. So they don't really know when it ended. And then the curious thing is this is a special type of warrant. It's a special type of wiretap. It is one that they have been able to convince a judge somewhere that they had no way to get this information other than through wiretap. That they convinced this judge that there would be no way to get the information. So I'm thinking, did they come to Texas and wiretap the fancy boyfriend? Oh no. And I'm not the only one that doesn't know. Nobody knows. No one knows. All right. So that gives you a very quick rundown of how nutty the case is. And it will be, it will be firing up after the Karen Reed case is finished, and hopefully we'll have an arrest in the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. But I wanted to just jump on and do a very quick little, come on, let's get interested in this case. Okay. I'm kind of being like a cheerleader. All right. Now, one of the reasons that I think that our community, we really, really, really need to try to garner some interest in this case is the following. There's a lot of drama to be had. There's a lot of opportunity for mischief making. And I know how you guys love drama. Let's see, what do we call them? The anti-Adelson crowd on YouTube is powerful. Like, they are insurmountable. They will squish me like a bug if I don't have some people with me on this. Okay. They just want to say, she's guilty. I want her to die. Her dog's guilty. Where's her broomstick? She's a horrible person. The conversations are not exactly stimulating. Okay. It's just, they have followed this case for 10 years and they are a vengeful group. Okay. And they don't care. They don't care about the details. They don't care about what happens in the courtroom. They don't care to discuss it. They just, they show up in the morning and they say, who's got the pitchforks? Nope, it's not my job to hand out pitchforks. It's my job to hand out the torches. And that's not all they do. They have torches and pitchforks. And all day they just scream, oh, she's guilty. He's guilty. They're guilty. Someone get their dog. Their dog was in on it. I promise you, I am not using hyperbole. Well, maybe a little. Okay. So, would you guys watch my Adelson videos if I started covering the case? I don't think y'all will. I don't think you will. I think it'll be just like the other times, like when I tried to do other cases that were not really very popular on YouTube. You know, you'll get 50, 100 people come and watch. And by the end of the stream, you got 20 people left. And no one cares enough to really get interested in it, you know. So here's what I'm going to do. We are going to go back to Friday's wild speculation. I want to make this messy, yucky, dramatic. We're gonna piss some people off. Because we're going to go back through the old trials, and I'm going to point out all the problems in these prosecutions. And you watch what happens. Those anti-Adelson people, they're going to lose their minds. True that. Now, there's one person that it's hands off, okay? Hands off on Bling is the New Black. Oh, it's going to be great, Maria. We're going to make all kinds of havoc, okay? We're going to get them all upset before the trial starts. Look, I typically hate drama. I'm going to be honest with you. I typically hate drama, but I love this case. Like, I love the Adelson case the way that I love the Jodi Arias case. I love it. There's so much psychological muckety muck. It's a great. Oh man, Diane, the trolls, the anti-Adelson trolls, they are right now as we speak, they are shining up their feathers, they're fluffing them up, they're putting their little flying monkey hats on, they're ready to go. It will be all hands on deck by the time we're finished, Diane. All right. They will be a very unhappy group of people. I don't think so. I'm really playing it up, but there are some of those creators in that group that are really, really interesting people, and they're smart. And I think that they would make for a really good conversation, right? So I do think Donna did it. I'm going to be totally honest. I think Donna and Wendy, they did it, and it's gross. What they did, the whole way that they went about it was gross. However, the Sigfrido, Luis Rivera, Katie Magbanoa, these are some bad folks, y'all. These are some really conniving. They grew up in criminal lifestyle. Their dads and moms and aunts and uncles, they're all part of the gangland wars in Miami, Cuban culture. They're a bad group of people. And I'm telling you, there is something really strange in this Adelson prosecution. I got a real problem with their star witness. You think Jen McCabe, there's a male Jen McCabe who had skin in the game. He has a reason to lie about Charlie and Wendy. He has a reason to see them prosecuted. So we're going to make some mischief. And the only reason for the mischief is going to simply be to deepen the conversation, to make the conversation, the trial coverage more interesting by discussing both sides of the aisle, right? By talking about Donna Adelson and her family or organized crime family, by talking about her, like, for sure she did it, but then also to bring up questions, reasonable doubt. Well, what about this? How do you explain this? Because no one in the anti-Adelson camp that exists today wants to even imagine reasonable doubt, which is weird to me, right? Why don't you want to? Don't you believe in the law? Don't you have faith in the United States Constitution? Don't you care that law enforcement officials are honest and trustworthy and competent? Don't you care about those things? There you go. All right. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to be really honest here. We're not hurting anybody's feelings. We're not going to be nasty. We're not going to be the drama community. Nobody's getting CPS called on them. We're not doing any of that nasty stuff. We just need, I think, a deeper conversation about this entire complicated, curious case. It's very strange. And if they call SWAT onto Wendy Adelson's billionaire compound, I'm totally getting in the GT. We're going to put the top down. I'm going to put my rhinestone encrusted baseball cap on, and I am going to drive up there, and I'm going to film every minute of that. You watch. Drama. Okay. All right. The male Jen McCabe, he does exist. And that is my stance on this particular witness, made so many people's, because he is their hero. Sometimes I think some of these women made like a little gold statue of him to put up on their shelf so that they could continue to worship him. All right, folks, I gotta go. I only got 15 minutes to be somewhere that I got to be. So I hope you guys have a really happy, wonderful Saturday to enjoy. I was supposed to be off today. I have not had a real day off in months. I work every day. And today was going to be a day that I wasn't going to work at all. Not one appointment, not one meeting, nothing. And yesterday, the entire internet was down in the greater Houston area. And so I had to move half of those people to today. So I'm in a bad mood today. I was in a bad mood last night too. All right. So I'm counting on you. I'm counting on my people to get excited about the prosecution of Donna Adelson. I'm going to try to get you interested in this by going back to the old cases, the old trials and interviews, and kind of let you see why it's such a crazy case. And Georgia Cappleman, she is their fearless leader. And sometimes I wonder about Ms. Cappleman. You know what I mean? Those of you watching the trial of Karen Reed, are there dirty prosecutors? Maybe. All right. Remember, bling is the new black. She is 100% anti-Adelson, and that is awesome. We love that. Okay. She's our friend. All right. We have some others here that are definitely anti-Adelson, but we need to embrace our differences, because that's what makes conversation interesting, folks. Well, at least that's for me, it does. Okay. And I don't think anyone in this whole Adelson trial arrest world, I don't think any of them cuss like drunk sailors and do drugs and get arrested and call CPS and defecate in people's backyards like you have in the case of Sebastian Rogers going missing. That case has attracted a lot of online insanity. And we will not have that in the Adelson discussion, okay? It's a good group. It's a good group of people. It is. Even though they dislike me, they hate me. So, but I accept it. I accept their dislike. And the reason that I accept their dislike is because I come in completely unknown. They've all been friends for 8 years. They didn't know, everybody is on the same page. They're all firmly, bonded together. And then I was not very subtle, and I should have been. And I wasn't. And I was like, but what about this? What about that problem? But that's wrong. And they got really mad at me. So, and I'm sorry, damn it. I didn't mean to make you all mad. Okay. Junie, it'll be me and Junie against the anti-Adelson world. I think we got this, Junie. I think we can totally do it. Okay. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be good. Yeah. And no felons, right? That'll be nice. Okay. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday. I got to get to work. I'm ready to retire. I want to retire. I want to buy an RV, and I want to just drive around the country, to just trial after trial. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. It's not happening. All right. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday. I got to go. I'm out of here. Bye.